On the bench right now is an STA-2700 receiver. I believe this was made by Foster for Radio Shack. It has a very similar, if not the same, fluorescent power meter as well as a tuning indicator. This was a more improved version that had the electronic volume. It has a remote as well as a electronic power circuit. So this is not a physical switch. Here's the symptom. And this is the problem I've had with this. And it sounds like these are kind of problematic. This doesn't seem to be too bad. And by the way, these are not bulged capacitors. Those are just the top that are bulged. They actually are flat. Everything here looks good. There's not a lot of burn marks or anything, except the power supply is charred in a number of areas. So I replaced a couple resistors. I also replaced all the capacitors. It's still not powering up. What happens is, and let me put this little towel here so that we don't get a short. See, just doesn't come on. Once in a while, if I pull the plug and put it in and then, or sometimes if you let it sit, it comes on. So I replaced all those caps now, and these were in pretty, in my opinion, pretty bad shape. And I don't have them because I threw them out. Sorry, guys. What I did notice is there's one diode down here that appears to be checking bad. So I'm going to go ahead and replace that diode right there. And that seems to be near the circuit that turns this on. Let's see if it fixes it. All right, D821, according to the service manual, is a DS4148. And the equivalent or replaceable one can be a 1N4001, which I happen to have right here. All of the haters, it's okay. You can flame me. I have a diode assortment kit from Amazon. I probably didn't pay more than $10 for this whole kit, but these types of parts should work fine. I do not replace capacitors with cheap ones, but diodes and resistors, usually I'll go with the assortments. So I'm going to put a 1N4001 in there, and let's see if that solves the problem. While the soldering iron, and it's a solder, not solder, soldering iron is warming up, I wanted to show you, I did take a look last night at the bottom of this, especially around the amplifier board. And I'm wondering what the hell that gunk is. I think that's glue or wax that would have held those main capacitors in. It's actually not anything to be concerned about because I found other parts of it in the bottom of the receiver, so it looks like it came off from age. But I did go through and I reflowed the solder on a couple areas that were a little charred, especially with the power regulator transistors. Anytime you see a set of three things and you verify that you have a power regulator, those things get hot and sometimes can come undone. So this has all been reflowed. I don't see anything on the tone board, nor do I see anything on the tuner. But if I get that touched up, which is fine when the unit did come on, and then I redo the power supply, which is what I'm doing right now, you know, we should be good. And I only use these occasionally anyways. This is really more of a collection, so should be able to get it going. Okay, that diode has been replaced. Let's go ahead and plug this in. And let's see what it does. Oh gosh, there we go. It just came on. Nothing's smoking, nothing's popping. I guess it could have been that diode all along. However, I did recap this entire board because it looks like it sustained a lot of heat. So a little bit of damage. I've seen a lot worse, but I do see some char marks. But I don't know if this has a lot of hours or not. I have a feeling it doesn't have too many because the display is pretty strong. All right. Looks like we might be fixed. I'm going to go ahead and put it back together and let's leave it on for a while. All right, I put the board back, power supply. Let's go ahead and plug this in again and we'll let it go for a while because I don't declare success usually unless it's been on a while. So let's see what happens. There we go. And the protection circuit's clicking, which means that the amplifier is turning on. And again, in the past, I did get this to come on. It would just take a lot of power cycles of unplugging and plugging from the wall. And it looks like this, it's a 12 volt AC circuit which toggles the on and off for this. It looks like that diode was causing the problem. So I'm going to leave this on for a while. I'll put it back together and then we'll give it a test.